It's been just over a year since a leader in the East Colfax community was killed. Today, one of the people charged in Ma King's death is set to be in court. Lou Ray is facing several charges, including first-degree murder. He is one of 4 people arrested in connection to King's death. Police say King was killed by a stray bullet July of last year. Ray's arraignment is scheduled for 8:30 this morning.
It is now 6:02 on your Monday morning, and right now Denver and Aurora police are working to make their departments more transparent. Both are working on online portals that would keep people in the know about what they're doing.
Brianna Fernandez joins us live from Denver. Brianna, what does this online portal look like?
Hey, good morning to both of you. So we know this online portal is going to be a one-stop shop. Right now, this would be able to allow people to access information such as shootings involving officers or use of force incidents as well. So we know the Denver Police Department, they actually have already an online portal to allow people to access this and see what they're doing behind closed doors. So on Friday, DPD announced it's adding 2 more dashboards to its website with access to data on bias-motivated crimes and community engagement as well. So the Aurora Police Department is also working on this online portal to increase transparency as laid out under the department's consent decree. Officials with APD say they've always collected a lot of data, but it hasn't been accessible to the public.
So this really gives us also an internal platform to set benchmarks with regard to what do our uses of force look like, what are our agency demographics, and then when we start seeing variations in those things, once we have that benchmark, we can look and see what is the reason for that variation. Is it explainable? Do we have a problem? Do we have a training issue? It gives us the information we need to make ourselves better.
APD says that they are still working on the design and layout for this website. They hopefully want to release little pieces by the end of November and have it completed for the public by the end of this year.
Right, Brianna, thank you so much for that update.
It has been more than 3 years since the protest over George Floyd's murder, and Denver still is settling lawsuits about how police acted.
Yeah, and today, City Council could finalize another big settlement. Denver could pay more than $4.5 million to settle a federal class action lawsuit. A group of protesters filed the lawsuit, saying they were arrested solely for violating curfew orders. All of those protesters had their criminal charges dropped. Last year, a jury awarded $14 million as part of the same class action to a dozen protesters that were hurt by police. The city is planning to appeal that verdict.
Douglas County just wrapped up its first Pride Fest since a Republican county commissioner tried to ban the event from the county fairgrounds last year. And this time around, it was interrupted by protesters. Organizers say that dozens of men showed up wearing matching T-shirts and tried to block the drag show. The shirt said, "Stand to protect children." They stayed there for about 40 minutes before security got them to move. Pride Fest organizers say the protesters made a lot of people feel unsafe.
There were kids crying. There were families that were not threatened, but intimidated and made to feel less than. I personally had several of my friends leave because of the hate and the disgust. They couldn't stand to be there. And this is all in the name of protecting children.
Douglas County Commissioner Laura Thomas called the group a distraction, but said otherwise the show was entertaining and followed the county's rules. And other people who were at the show say they don't want the group to take away from the fun experience they had. The sheriff's office says no one was cited or arrested.
Right now, more and more people across the country are trying to get books banned from libraries, especially ones with LGBTQ themes. The American Library Association says book ban requests at public schools and libraries hit a high in 2022. Last year, the Library Association says it got more than 1,000 requests. That is a 70% increase from 2021. The association says in the past it was usually just one individual who would have a problem with a book. Now it's seeing advocacy groups start to demand books be removed, and books with LGBTQ themes are the most challenged since 2016. Now, just last week, a conservative activist tried to get 4 LGBTQ books banned in Dougco. Aaron Wood also previously protested drag shows there. The library board unanimously agreed to keep the books on the shelves. Wood says he is going to keep trying to get those books removed.
Today marks 60 years since Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. On August 28th of 1963, Dr. King delivered that speech to a crowd on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial for the March on Washington. Over the weekend, people marked that historic day with a rally at the same spot joined by civil rights leaders. Many of the speakers said the work is far from over. On the same day as that rally, a white man killed 3 black people at a store in Jacksonville, Florida. Police say the shooter had used racial slurs and drew swastikas on his gun. The Justice Department is now investigating the shooting as a hate crime. Members of Dr. King's family say it shows there is still a lot of progress that needs to be made.
Instead of moving forward, it feels as if we're moving backward. The question is, what are we going to do? Do we realize that it is we, the people, who can make changes?
So yesterday, the same day when we had almost 200,000 people gathering together to stand for democracy in our country, we saw what happens with hate.
Today, the White House will host members of the King family to commemorate the anniversaries of Dr. King's speech.
And it is 6:08 on your Monday morning. Today, former President Donald Trump's chief of staff will be in court in Georgia. Mark Meadows is the first to make a court appearance in this 2020 election case. It will be a big test for how the other 18 defendants might handle this case. Meadows is trying to get his case moved to federal court and possibly thrown out. Today, Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis is planning to go over some of her evidence showing why Meadows, Trump, and others broke Georgia law. Meadows is arguing his case belongs at federal court because he is facing charges tied to his work in a federal position. If Meadows is successful in getting that case moved, Trump might try the same thing. Regardless, today will be the first time that we hear from some key witnesses in this case.
4 days since Trump was booked at a jail in Atlanta, and his campaign now says it's raised more than $7 million since then. His campaign immediately started selling merchandise with Trump's mugshot. A Trump campaign official said the campaign has raised nearly $20 million in the past 3 weeks, which covers the time since the former president's indictment and arraignment in Washington to his surrender at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia.
New this morning, a poll suggests age could play a big role in the presidential election. The poll from the Associated Press says 77% of people think President Joe Biden is too old for a second term. Biden will be 81 years old by the 2024 election. About half of adults say Trump is too old for office. He's only 3 years younger than Joe Biden. In general, both Democrats and Republicans say they would prefer younger candidates.
And one thing you want to know about the weather today, temperatures cooler than the 90s we saw here yesterday. How about only in the 70s behind that line of storms that came through? We'll see showers and thunderstorms returning this afternoon as well. But tomorrow, drier, mostly sunny skies, and we warm it into the 80s.